Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host.
Grandma Gail.
So we're doing this podcast over Zoom. I'm in New York City. You're in Palm Beach. How long did it take us to get onto this Zoom?
It took us 35 minutes to figure out this Zoom. First of all, the computer I'm on, which is your old computer, I think it's from when you went to college, is so old that we couldn't get the thing even charged up. Once we got it charged up, we couldn't hear each other. So you walked me through it. That was a trauma of at least 10 minutes. We really need help. And you know what? You're so good at this, and it's very hard to explain it to somebody who's not good at it when you're not in the same room. I think
because the issue is like, if I was saying it to a contemporary, I would be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to send the link to your Gmail. So look there.
But I know, and I didn't know where that was. I didn't even know where that is.
Yeah, it's like step by step. Okay, how am I going to get the invitation to you? You're going to have to log into my email. How am I going to tell you how to log into my email? And it's like thinking backwards almost.
Well, I honestly think the corporations are right. Everybody should go back into the office. This is too hard.
You're going to have to figure it out there too. What do you mean?
All right. Well, most people don't have to do a Zoom call. They could meet each other in an office and talk to each other around a table. But we're doing it. It's a long distance love affair between the two of us. So we're on together, and it's so hot down here, Kim. I'm dying to go back up north. I feel like I need a couple of days of 50-degree weather. This is 90 degrees down here, and they keep warning everybody of forest fires. I don't know where there are forest fires in Palm Beach with there's no grass, but I guess it's so dry in all of Florida. They've had no rain. So I feel like we're back talking about Venice where there's no rain. Now there's no rain in the Southeast because it's all been snowing and raining in the Midwest and out West.
Yeah. So, well, it's been fine here, not too bitter, but not like amazing either. And like, I feel the opposite. I'm like, oh, I could be on the beach right now with you guys.
Well, that's true. So you'll be here next week. But the truth is, it's so hot on the beach. I don't even think anybody can be out there. The perfect place now is to be in the air conditioning. This is like summer weather. And they've been talking about this. It's fascinating to see the cycles of what's happening with our weather, and there's really very little we could do. So let's not talk about it too long. It is what it is, and you stay warm, and I'm going to try to stay cool.
Deal. I'm trying to think of what I've been up to so I can give you updates. I feel like it's mostly like every time I'm in New York City, I try to schedule everything so tight to make sure I'm seeing like every friend that I haven't seen in a bit. So I've seen a bunch of friends this week.
Well, you walked on the High Line this weekend. I was so jealous because I love that.
Well, I actually never ended up walking on. So I met one of my best guy friends who I've known since I was 5 years old, and we were going to walk on the High Line, but we actually just walked around like meat packing. We didn't actually go up to the High Line. And then we went to this diner that I really like called Empire Diner.
Oh, that's lunch. A famous one. That's very famous.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, that's one of the oldest diners in New York.
No, I don't know if we're thinking of the same place.
Oh, all right.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's like kind of like it looks like an old diner, but it's like all really healthy kind of.
I think it was an old diner that they moved to this location.
Oh, maybe. It's on like 20 something and 10th Avenue.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So yeah, no, that was fun to see him and my other friends as well. One of my friends just got engaged, so we went out and celebrated with her.
Well, you have a lot of charity events this week, which kept you in New York. So you're doing a lot of good things with that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of different venues.
I know. And my thing has been like, oh, what am I going to wear to these?
Oh, gosh. Well, don't wear the long gloves that we've been looking at. I think that's an overstatement.
I really wanted to, but no. I don't know how like jazzy people get for these things. And you know what's funny? Like I've been trying to get people to come. And
you're chairing one of the events, aren't you?
I'm chairing a UJA event. It's UJA Generosity, which is on Thursday, what is that? 9th. The day that this episode comes out. So if you guys want to go buy your tickets and go tonight. But it's interesting because because this is like a Jewish organization, I've found that with like a lot of the Jewish events, people kind of are thinking of it as like a singles event, which it's really like it's not. It's a
No.
charity event, but a lot
And it
of
could be young marrieds as well, but it is for the
Oh, no.
younger generation.
Yeah, yes, it is for young leadership, but it's interesting because it's like gotten that rap. So a lot of my friends are like, "Ah, no, I have a boyfriend. I'm not going to come," which is like kind of
That's not
interesting.
right.
Um,
Well, they can't publicize it as a meeting event. It's really about young people supporting Jewish causes and underprivileged communities, and that's the way they should advertise it.
yeah. No,
Especially
that is the way it's advertised, but I totally do agree that a lot of people kind of go in the mindset
All
of
right.
that.
Well, it's Purim. It's so this week. So everybody could bring some hamantash, and I hope they have that at the event because there's a big thing going on down here actually tonight at the Colony. One of the rabbis is hosting a Purim event for all the families that want to come down here and celebrate together, which is so nice. I mean, I love to see this. It's terrific.
Yeah, but I do wonder, like, I feel like at these kind of events, people are definitely more outgoing to go over and like ask for your number and
Yeah.
kind of make it that kind of thing, more so than a normal night going out. And I don't know if it's because people think like, oh, it's a good chance that I'm gonna have a lot in common with this person. We're both at a Jewish organization, and like they're thinking marriage minded or like dating.
No, I
minded.
think
I don't.
I think it's a nice way to meet people. And you know what? It's whether they be looking for a boy or a girl to go out with, or just to have coffee with or dinner with. It's a nice way to meet people in your community. You know, you live in a big city, so it's very difficult. It's not like a small town where everybody meets each other and sees each other on the street. You're living in a city with 8 million people. So when these small events occur, it gives people an opportunity to meet other like-minded girls and guys, and I think it's a very nice thing that the organizations do. Plus, you raise money for good causes.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a few of those this week, so it should be fun, and I'm sure I'll wear black to all of them because I have.
Well, black is always good.
Yeah, we'll
Black
see.
is always good.
I'll
I have to
post
take-
maybe.
You
some of
post some
my-
pictures. I
Yeah.
want to see the different outfits. It should be fun.
Mhm.
We have a lot. It's very interesting. February and March are the height of the season in Florida. It's when most people are down here for a concentrated time.
Yeah.
And it also seems to be the time when all the charities who are from different communities across the US come here.
Okay, let's talk about some of the TikTok videos that we did this week. The rule that we posted this week, Grandma Gail's rule number 17, is keep your eggs in multiple baskets until he's ready to commit to you.
And that got, oh my gosh, it went crazy, Kim. I see it's almost
I think
up to
almost a million. Yeah.
almost a million. So I think a lot of people think either they're laughing and having fun with us, which is what I think they do, or they really believe in it and they click on, and they're telling their friends to click on as well.
Right. I'm sure people send it to each other, but
Exactly.
the idea behind it, which I feel like is
Right.
something you've said to me before, is like, you're not going to be exclusive with someone who isn't exclusive with you. Like
Right.
always you can date as many people as you want until your
Until the
boyfriend or
fellow,
girlfriend.
until the guy or the girl say, let's only date each other. I mean, nobody should just stay with one person and say, oh, I'm not going to accept another date. I'm not going to go for coffee. I'm not going to go out for a drink with somebody because I think I'm going with so and so. Well, but that's not a relationship. You have to sit down if you've dated somebody for a little bit and enjoy their company, and you probably are dating others at the same time. Say, listen, I really like you. I think we should concentrate on each other and on our relationship. Then and only then should you stop accepting coffee or a drink or a dinner with somebody else. Because, listen, a lot of people are out there and like to date a lot of people. They're serial daters, and that's fine. That's fine, but you have to know about it and not fall into a trap where you cut yourself off from other people until the person really signals to you that let's make this our togetherness moment.
Yeah. So I just want to read through some of the comments that people wrote on that.
Well, that's fun.
Someone said, if he isn't ready to commit, then just forget about him totally. Don't stick around waiting to see if maybe one day he'll commit.
Well, I don't think that's fair because I don't think after 3 or 4 dates somebody's going to commit. I think after a couple of months of going out and really going out and I'm sure having some kind of physical relationship as well. If then they say, nah, you know what, I'm really not ready to commit, then I think you should, the person is correct, you should move on, because unless you don't care, unless the person also doesn't care. A lot of times people are there, they're not really, they're working very hard, they're doing a lot of different things. They're not ready to really have a one-on-one only, and that's nothing wrong with that in this world today, but you got to be clear about it. I think
Yeah.
that the clarity is the word.
Mm-hmm. And someone else said, my grandmother used to say, let them all treat you well until one person proves they're the best at it.
Well, I agree with that.
I kind of like that. I've never heard that.
Well, it was a different time anyway, because we weren't sleeping around with 25 people till the person was the best.
Mhm.
I think you really just have to value yourself and be treated properly. Whether it be the woman treating the man or the man treating the woman, you have to respect each other and care for one another. And if that's not there, then you really just have to go on and move on to someone else.
Mhm. Okay.
And not everybody, I was just going to say also, Kim, there are times in your life when you don't want anybody. There, you're busy, don't have the time to give to a relationship. And that's all right too. Everybody has a time in their lives when that becomes important, and everybody goes at it at different periods of their life.
Yeah, I think the key is, if you do want a relationship, you have to find someone who is also at that same time as
same stage.
as you. Same stage.
No question.
Another video we did, still I'm recreating some outfits that you wore from old photos. So we went back in your album and found like photos from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And I've tried to find things in my closet to kind of recreate the modern version of that. So we did another one of those this week.
It didn't look so great. It looked all right. I like the one with you in the skirt and the top even better, but it's fun to try to recreate out of things made today, because a lot of the styles from the 60s, certainly, and the 50s are coming back. For people who have not been to Miami recently, first of all, the Brightline is fabulous. You get on the train, an hour and 10 minutes, you're in the design district. No traffic, no stress. But the buildings, the architecture of each of the different designers is just a work of art. It's a lot of stuff with, the Louis Vuitton had the artist, Murakami, with the dots on the bags now, and so the whole store has red dots all over it and all up the staircase. Fabulous looking. I mean, the designers who are creating the store, what do you call it, what do you call the designs of the windows, oh my gosh,
displays. The
display people are so talented, and they're really almost like setting a theater stage.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to like incentivize people to go shop in person and create the experience versus just the online. And I don't know that many people, like with a store like Louis Vuitton where it's expensive, I don't know that many people who do order online versus in person. I
don't even know if you can order those things online. Maybe you can.
I'm not sure.
I don't know either. I've never done that, but I must say, just the experience of walking through the different little stores and the alleyways and the art, they have art installations all over the area. It's really worth a trip for those people coming down to South Florida to take a trip to, if you're in Miami, then definitely go to the design district. But it's so pretty and pristine and everything, and everyone is so nice in the stores. And I must say, it was a relief not to have to wait. You go, there's nobody in the stores. I mean, that's another thing. That's another conversation. I think
I love going shopping like for the experience, but sometimes I do feel like if I didn't buy anything, which is most of the time when I go shopping, I'm like, oh, was that like a waste of time?
No, but I don't think so. None of us bought anything the day we were out.
Yeah, it's just about the
it was
experience.
Just about the whole thing. And then we went to a very, very cute Greek restaurant, which when you come down, we're going to take the trip, Mandalay, and it's delicious and packed. Lots of little hummus plates.
I might have been there before.
Oh, yeah. It was Mandolin. It was terrific. It was
Mandolin
really fun.
Aegean.
Yeah, it was great. And but all the restaurants are jammed.
Was one of the friends you went with Helena, who we did the video with?
Oh,
So
yeah.
we
Tell them
also
about, yeah.
we also did a video this week going into Grandma Gail's friend's closet, because normally, obviously, she's in my closet, but we wanted to switch it up and see one of her friends' closet in Palm Beach, who has one of the most decked out, like designer item
Well,
closet
she's a
wardrobes.
collector. She's a
Yeah,
collector, and of all, and luckily for you, you could try on everything because
yeah,
you're her size.
yeah.
So it was fun, and we had really a blast. It was a hoop. We couldn't get out of the door because things were hanging all over the clothes.
Yeah.
So
Someone commented on that video saying that we should interview her. She must be fascinating.
she's fascinating. She's
Yeah.
terrific, but she won't be ready for an interview. She's very shy.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people were saying it's definitely a fabulous closet. And there was
It
one,
is.
everything was positive. There was one comment that was like, clothes don't have to be designer to be fabulous, which is
Well, of course,
true.
of
And we agree
course.
with that. So I don't
Right.
know in what way we seemed like we were saying that, but you could still appreciate all these designer things and appreciate a lot of what I wear isn't designer and is vintage actually. So like we totally agree with that. I think
Right.
there's
It
room.
just was fun. We were trying to do, people can't take our going into people's closets too seriously because we're
It's
not
precisely that.
promoting.
We're talking about fashion. It's a frivolous
Exactly.
thing. It's not
Exactly.
life or
It's
death.
right. Exactly. And they're not anything you can buy now anyway. They're
Yeah.
all old.
Let's do Grandma Gail's headlines of the week. What have you seen in the news this week that we should know?
Well, what? Nothing. Trust me, nothing good.
Yeah.
I mean, the world is coming apart down here. There's a lot of talk about they want to do road changes in Florida. The problem that's going on, which is in any city, and Palm Beach especially was not a big city. West Palm Beach is becoming a big city, and so the traffic patterns are a disaster. And they're building one building after another, high-rise buildings where or corporations are coming down, offices are being established in this area because people want to come down for many reasons. Firstly, it's a beautiful place to live. The weather is lovely, and taxes are much more easy on your pocket. But the infrastructure is not there, and so I don't know really what they're going to do. My big thing is you can't get into Publix parking lot because
I don't think these were top news stories of the week.
Well, for Florida, there's top news stories. That's a very big thing. Congestion. Well, it's the same as going into New York City or into New Jersey and having traffic patterns, or in London or in Paris where everything is bumper to bumper. We don't know how to accommodate the amount of people that are coming into the cities because there are no alternatives. There are not new subways or new bridges being built. So it is a problem that people are studying very carefully. And I do think the environment is also affected. So that becomes an issue. What else that was happening down here beside the Ukraine?
Or just things you've read in or seen on TV?
Well, I don't think anything, the big talk now, of course, was that people are disputing, Fauci, Dr. Fauci's comments on where the virus came from, that it didn't come from the wet market, that it definitely came, the FBI and the CIA are now definitely saying it came from the Wuhan lab, which most normal people with an ounce of brain knew that was happening anyway. I mean, nobody thought a bat was going to infect everybody in the whole world. And there should be a major investigation in my mind about that, because you want to forestall that from ever happening again. We lost like 3 million people from this pandemic and shut down countries, and businesses went out of business and people died. I mean, it was terrible. And it probably could have been avoided. I don't think that we need to have laboratories, in my mind, creating viruses to see how you can counteract the viruses with medicines. I just don't see any pluses in that. They should more importantly be putting in laboratories scientists who are trying to figure out ways to do cancer, ways to create cures for diabetes. And that was another thing, talking about medical things, which is a big conversation with anybody over 40. A lot of people are using the medicine for diabetes to lose weight.
Oh, Ozempic.
Exactly. And
That's
so
been
I think
that's been a headline for a few months.
yeah, but now everybody everywhere you go, they say, "Oh, we're doing that, we're doing that," and really, it's a big problem because
it's really
you know,
dangerous.
well, it's not dangerous. I think but it's running. They're running out of supplies for people who really need it. I don't think the amount you take for the diet is the same as if you were a diabetic. I don't think.
There's been some content creators who said that they were prescribed it for weight loss, but then as soon as they got off of it, they actually binged even more.
Well,
Like,
that's the case of every diet, Kim. I mean, I think
I don't know. I think what's different probably with like medication and like when you do have an eating disorder, and I think it's definitely being like improperly
right. I have a big problem with all these diets. I really do. And I think it's terrible for young people to worry about their size. I don't think obesity, of course, is not good. And a lot of that comes from our fast foods and eating inappropriately. And that should be curtailed. And so often we're victims of it because it's fast and it's cheap. And so families who have a lot of children or workers who have a half an hour to eat lunch end up going into these fast food places, and they're not healthy. Most of them, though, now, at least to my knowledge, are putting the amount of calories up on their what do you call it? Not the billboard, on their
menu. I feel like that's
menu.
An unhealthy practice. I don't like that.
Oh, well, I think it's actually good if you're really watching your
I think
calories.
that causes eating disorders, to be honest.
Well, I think everything causes eating disorders.
Yeah. So for our 50s movie of the week, I was trying to think of something that was New York City related.
The Out-of-Towners, which is hysterical. That's a wonderful New York movie when a couple comes from the suburbs and spends the evening in Manhattan and the calamities that befall them. I think that's a fun movie for New York.
Okay, perfect.
Definitely
that is 1970, but
that's all right.
Still retro.
Exactly. Still in the past. So I think people will get a giggle out of it and laugh. New York really looks even good in that movie. And I think that's an important thing. Everything, all people should enjoy going to the city, getting out of it what it really is great for. It's great for food. It's great for culture. It's just a super place. And don't listen to all the noise around it. There's always a complainer here and there. Just be careful. That's all.
Okay, another great episode of Excuse My Grandma. Follow us on social media, Excuse My Grandma. For an update, I did get my Instagram account back, my personal Instagram.
Oh, right, Kimmy, you have to tell people.
So people can follow me and interact with me again. It is not a hacker anymore.
Thank you. Anyway, that was a terrible thing.
Yeah, so that's my personal is Kim Merstein, and we will see you next week.
Okay, guys, everybody have a good week.